Chapter 34, Economic Growth and Sustainable Development. So when it comes to economics, there is what's called an economic cycle. So this is very relevant in the times that we're in now with coronavirus or COVID-19. So we're going to see a lot of impact on our economy. There's going to be sharp dip. We're going to be talking about things about unemployment and negative growth. So it's very relevant for what we're doing. So some kind of questions would definitely come up in an exam on that. So the economic cycle then describes the pattern of economic growth. So a cycle goes from growth, all right, and then goes to boom, all right, so at the height of the growth, and then a recession where there's negative growth, and then a recovery again. So you'd see a cycle. So just to know what they all mean, so boom describes a period of above average economic growth, so very high growth for a sustained period. The standard of living increases, so everyone's working, so they have disposable income and they have money to buy whatever they want. More revenue is generated for the government then due to high employment rates and increased consumer spending. Okay, so again, if people are working, they're going to pay the government taxes, and then they're spending more in the economy. So again, the businesses are paying their taxes and they're booming, and the government are benefiting from all these taxes. And the great thing about the government getting money, then they can pay more, to spending on new roads, new hospitals. Okay, so the other problem though, like it happened during the Celtic Tiger, was inflation. Okay, so house prices were very, very high, and that's not sustainable. Okay, so just to talk then about a recession. So it's a period in which economic growth falls. So no longer is the economy growing. We will probably go into that shortly and back out of it. We have been in it there during the recession in the last 10 years, so we're well used to it. So it's also referred to as a bust. So what happens here is, so these are the indicators. How do you know? Like, people can say we're in a recession, but economists will measure the unemployment rate. They will look at inflation, growth rates. That's how much we're producing in the economy, and exports and all the rest. So a key indicator will be unemployment rates. So up until now, it's been about 5%. We were starting to grow there, and we're out of the recession and into growth. But unfortunately, at the moment, after all of when people get back to, I suppose, there some kind of normality or employment, that rate would probably go up very high. Okay, so it could be in the 20s, unfortunately, unemployment rate, which is very bad. Now, during the recession, it went as high as 16, 17%. So you can see how bad it's going to be. Okay, and hopefully not long-lived, hopefully short-lived. Consumer spending slows down, so because they don't have enough money to spend. More businesses fail. So the big thing with unemployment is if businesses fail. Okay, the government receives less income. All right, obviously through taxes from businesses and people who are working. And inflation decreases. Okay, so it becomes deflation. So the price of goods and services will go down. Okay, might be a good thing in the short term. So a slump occurs if a recession lasts for a long period of time. Okay, so we definitely had a slump in the last 10 years. Economic growth is low and may even become negative. All right, so we had about 5% growth there recently, which was good. Unemployment rates are high. All right, so during the recession or in the last 10 years, we definitely had a slump. All right, inflation is low and so on. Recovery then. So we're definitely in a recovery up until now. So the first part of 2020 was great. Unfortunately, it'll be interesting to see what happens for the rest of 2020, but hopefully in 2021 we'll come out of this. Okay, so an economy is said to be in recovery when its economic growth rate starts to rise, okay, which we were having. Unemployment rate falls way down, right? We were down to 5%. Consumer spending, right? People are starting to spend a lot more. And, prices of goods start to go up. So we saw house prices going up again. So as we know about during the recession, there was a boom period between 1995 and 2002, very high economic growth in Ireland. A lot of products being made, productivity increasing, unemployment fell. Okay, we knew that as the Celtic Tiger. However, during I suppose we call this the property bubble. You know, a lot of people were buying houses at 100% mortgages, and it just wasn't sustainable. The house prices were quite high as well, and people couldn't pay it back. So inflation of houses prices went very high. Okay, so there's a rapid increase in the value of land and property, and businesses and individuals borrowed a lot of money, 100% mortgages, which is not a good thing. Ireland's boom and bust then, so by 2007, so in around 2007, 2008 definitely when it hit, the property market had reached its peak and the bubble burst. So unemployment rose, for the first time in 15 years. Okay, because people could not, and then lost their jobs. Businesses closed first, they lost their jobs, people then, and then they couldn't afford to pay back their loans, their mortgages. So the country entered a recession due to the effects of the global financial crisis. So Ireland were very susceptible to this. So it happened in America and then in Europe, and hit Ireland very badly. Okay, and I suppose because we were so reliant on the world markets and lending, and you know, as a country, we were hit hard that way as well. So in September 2008, the Minister for Finance made the decision to bail out the Irish banks because they went bust, and then we took on massive loans from the EU and IMF, International Monetary Fund. Okay, so just be aware we're in a lot of debt over that. Okay, so in the next lesson we'll be looking at from an economic and environmental point of view. Okay, so just do your definitions in your book at the end of the chapter summary, and do the first 3 questions in the book also. And I'll put up the solutions Monday. Thank you.